So how much do you need to be earning in Australia in order to live a comfortable life, save some money, and yeah, just live that amazing Australian lifestyle? Australia is obviously known as being a fairly expensive country. However, they do offer one of the best wages that I've seen, a lot better than the UK, a lot better than New Zealand, where I currently am. And here is how much you realistically need to be earning in order to live a good life. One of the best things with Australia is providing you haven't got a family and you kind of, maybe you're a traveler, maybe you're living yourself, maybe you got a partner, maybe you're living with your friends. If you do it cheap, you can pretty much secure any job and live a very good lifestyle. Let's look at my situation when I was in Australia. I'm going to speak about when I worked in Perth. I was literally working for a furniture company. It was a retail job. I used to build furniture, sell furniture. Bit of a random job, but it was literally the first job that I picked up when I got to Perth. So I just thought I'd take it and ended up doing about 9 months there during my time in Perth. So the money for that job, I was getting paid $30 an hour in the week. Saturday would be $38 an hour and Sunday would be $43 an hour. This is pretty standard for like a retail position in Australia, but also like hospitality jobs pay similar, construction pays a little bit more, so any kind of normal job you can get a very good wage in Australia. On average, I was earning about $1,000 every single week, and from that $1,000, let's have a look at a little cost breakdown of how much I used to spend on a weekly basis. So I'll leave it on the screen there. So I'd spend about $250 a week on rent. I'd spend about $100 a week on food, roughly, maybe a little bit more, but roughly $100 on food. I'd spend about $50 per week on transport. I then spend between about $30 and $100 on activities. Sometimes we'd have a chill week, we'd just go to the beach, maybe have a little picnic or something, do a hike. Sometimes we'd be doing like a tour, or we'd be going out for some food. It depends, but I'd say on average between $30 and $100 every single week. And then I'd probably say another 20 or 30 for any other things that I might be spending my money on, whether that be a haircut, I don't know, little hidden costs that creep up during the week. So on average, I was spending about between 460 and 530 Australian dollars. I'll put the UK conversions on the screen as well. That's how much I was spending per week. And obviously I was earning about $1,000 a week. So I had about $470 left over for savings every single week, which in my opinion is like really good. We were living pretty close to the city centre in Perth as well, so rent I didn't think was too bad. And yeah, I was saving an extra I was saving about $470 a week was going straight into my savings. If you're not as worried about savings, you can obviously use that as spending money. And on that wage, you can live a very good life. Like, I was living a great life in Perth. Some of the stuff we did on the weekends, we did whale watching, went sandboarding, went to Rottnest Island, went to the zoo, like so many different things. And like, we were living such a good life. We'd work in the week and it'll get to the weekend and we'd be doing pretty much an activity every single weekend, especially in that first period in Perth. We were doing so much, and that was from a pretty standard retail position, and it allowed me to live such a good life still, doing stuff like that every single weekend. Overall in Perth, we worked there for about 9 months and I saved about 11,000 Australian dollars, which is 5,300 British pounds, which for 9 months of work, living a very good life in the sun, doing fun activities, like quite a lot of weeks, I think that's very good. Considering I was just working like a retail position, I think that's pretty good money and pretty good savings for working such a simple job. And during them 9 months, I literally had 3 weeks off in the middle when my friends came out to Australia. We were going to festivals, we were drinking on the beach. Like, I didn't exactly keep it that cheap, and I still managed to save like $11,000 in 9 months, which we ended up going traveling in Southeast Asia on. So if you are in a similar position to me, maybe you live on your own, maybe you've got a girlfriend or whatever, you can work a pretty standard job in Australia and still live a very high quality of life, doing amazing stuff and putting a decent amount of money into your savings. Although it's an expensive country, the wage is very good. Obviously this does depend on your situation. Maybe you've got a family, maybe you're living on your own, so you have to pay double the amount of rent that I was because we were splitting the room. So it does depend on your situation. You're not going to save as much if you know you are going to spend more on stuff. If you've got a family, obviously, like, you're going to be spending a lot more on food and stuff like that. It all depends on everyone's situation, but I can speak from my situation, and generally I like to give advice for other backpackers, other travelers who, yeah, are in a similar situation to me. And if you are in a similar situation, like, that is how much you can save in Australia. Obviously, if you get an even better job, you're earning $35, $40 an hour in the week, you can save so much money and live such a good life. So that is, yeah, a little breakdown of how much I was saving, spending, and that sort of thing in Australia. And yeah, to break it down for you guys so you can live such a good life without getting a crazy job, which is amazing, really. And obviously we could have saved more if we weren't doing so much. We could have saved less if we did even more. That all depends on how much nice of a life you guys want to live, how much you're going out and drinking and stuff. It depends, but yeah, that is from my experience. So I highly recommend the move to Australia. Definitely the best thing I ever did, and yeah, I recommend you guys do the same thing. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.